And Kristen, thank you. Congresswoman Cathy McMorris Rodgers is vice chair of the House Republican Conference, and she joins us now. Congressman, thank you for being with us.
Good to be with you.
My first question is based on the president's remarks that Social Security checks may not go out on August 3rd if the debt ceiling is failed to be raised. Are you ready to deal with those consequences?
We're very concerned about what would happen on August 2nd, and the House Republicans are committed to a solution. We've been at the table. We're doing everything possible to negotiate in good faith on behalf of the American people and what they think is most important. And in our opinion, the American people believe that we have to change, that we cannot continue down the current path that has really been just more spending, more borrowing, more printing of money.
So, Congressman, it seems to me that there are two camps in the Republican Party right now. Some say we want to see spending cuts, but we agree the debt ceiling has to be raised, otherwise there will be catastrophic consequences for the economy. And then there are Republicans who downplay the effect that a failure to raise the debt ceiling would have. Are you saying that you acknowledge if the debt ceiling isn't raised, there would be terrible economic consequences immediately?
The consequences, I believe, largely depend upon how the administration approaches that situation, and they're going to have some decisions to make about how they prioritize and how they spend those dollars. I've actually signed on to legislation in the House that would direct the administration in some of that prioritization so that we would ensure that our military got paid and our seniors got their Social Security checks.
Fair enough, because I think there is a way to prioritize so that the U.S. doesn't default. However, just by the specter of the government not raising the debt ceiling, don't you think there will be economic consequences in terms of the bond market, in terms of the credit rating of the United States government that could actually exacerbate this country's economic position?
We're watching that very closely. I am concerned about the potential response. I'm also very concerned if we stay on the same course, and that's where we really do need to see the game changer. I'm disappointed that the president took the balanced budget amendment off the table early on, and the House Republicans met this morning. We're going to be moving forward in the next couple of weeks talking about the importance of a balanced budget amendment and the potential of it being part of a solution to ensure that as we move forward, the federal government will be living within its means, and that the federal government will have to start setting priorities, just like families and small businesses, hardworking Americans have to do all across this country.
Congresswoman, is it your position that there is no room for compromise on the issue of raising tax revenues by closing loopholes at some point in the future, say after 2013? I mean, are you in line with the rest of the Republican leadership in saying everything's on the table except for raising taxes?
The Republicans actually are in favor of tax reform. When you look at the budget that we passed out of the House, it did include tax reform. We believe in a flatter, fair tax code for America. We believe that it is important to our competitiveness. Would that
tax reform envision increased revenues?
We believe that it is important that we look at it all at once and in a broader context of tax reform, and we're concerned that it is going to be difficult to accomplish that in 2 weeks. And we do not support raising taxes on our small business owners that are our job creators right now.
Bottom line, when push comes to shove and you have to take a vote on whether to raise the debt ceiling, are you willing to vote against raising the debt ceiling and let the chips fall where they may in terms of the economy?
It's a difficult call. No one wants to see America default. I don't want to see America default. We're doing everything we can to reach a deal. The risk of continuing down the current path, though, without changes, without the change in the way the federal government spends money, also concerns me greatly, and that is a short-term and a long-term consequence also.
All right, Congresswoman Cathy McMorris Rodgers, we got to leave it there. Thank you for your time this afternoon. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, let's get a different perspective. Congressman Steve